Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about, what to do and kind of like what mindset you need to be in when someone has unblocked you but they haven't contacted you yet. So the thing is with this is that you can't really see them unblocking you as an opportunity, right? And I get a lot of comments about this kind of thing. I get a lot of people emailing me about this kind of thing because my videos on, being blocked and unblocked and all this kind of like stuff that sometimes people do on the internet. Those videos of mine have become quite popular. And a lot of questions that I get, or a lot of fears that I see people have as well when they talk to me, is, oh, they unblocked me. Does that mean that they want me to reach out? They've unblocked me, and I'm scared that I'm going to miss my opportunity to reach out to them again. Because usually what's happened, and people usually who watch those videos they've been blocked by someone that they like. It could be an ex, or it could be someone that they have a huge crush on, and perhaps they came on a little bit too strong and then they got blocked, and then suddenly they get unblocked, and then they're like, oh, I've got to message them before they block me again, or something like that. And also, it's been the case where people have been blocked and then they got unblocked and then they got blocked again, and they're telling me that they're upset because they feel like they missed their window to actually contact them and to reach out to them. But let me tell you this, like, you haven't missed any opportunity when they have unblocked you. You haven't missed any opportunity, right? Because firstly, it's very unlikely that they unblocked you because they were hoping that you were going to message them once they unblocked you. I think most of the time people assume, at least this is what I assume anyway, but I assume that people aren't really paying that much attention to what I do on social media that much, right? And you kind of have to have that mindset, because if you think that everybody's watching you, everyone's watching your every move, then I feel like that will bring a lot of anxiety, basically. So the person that's blocked you probably doesn't even realize that you've noticed that they've unblocked you, right? And because they know, or at least they are, more likely to feel like you don't know that you got unblocked. It's gonna, can you see, like, it's not, they probably don't expect you to message them. They're probably not doing it so you can message them, right? Because they just don't think you're paying that much attention to the fact that they unblocked you. So it's kind of, what you need to do then really is, you just need to just leave it. Like, if they wanted to talk to you, if they wanted to be friends with you, if they wanted to be in a relationship with you, if they wanted something romantic with you, whatever it may be, right? Then they would contact you. They would reach out to you. And that's basically the only sign you should be looking out for that this person is still interested. The only sign. You've got to ignore literally everything else. You've got to ignore them unblocking you. You've got to ignore them blocking you. You've got to ignore them adding you as a friend. You've got to ignore them following you. You've got to ignore them liking your posts. You've got to ignore them commenting on your posts or retweeting your tweets, whatever it may be. The only indication that you should be paying attention to if someone wants you, or wants you back, or wants to be in your life again, is if they send you a direct message, okay? Them viewing your stories doesn't mean anything either. It has to be them directly messaging you privately, okay? Which is why I say ignore comments as well, because comments also don't really mean squat. It has to be a direct private message to you. That's the sign that you're looking out for. That's more of an indication that they want to talk to you, okay? You've got to ignore basically what they're doing on social media, because everyone kind of treats social media a little bit differently depending on, their background, depending on, what they're trying to achieve on social media, what their motives are for being on social media, just basically their habits on social media, because everyone's a little bit different with how they deal with social media. So you can't really pay attention to these little subtle things like likes and views on your stories and things like that. You have to pay attention to whether or not they actually start a conversation with you privately. Okay, that's the main thing that you should be looking out for. So, if you are noticing basically everything that they're doing on social media, if you're noticing that they've blocked you and then they've unblocked you, clearly for me, what that says to me personally is that you are spending way too much time on social media, basically. And more specifically, you're spending way too much time searching this person up to see if they've unblocked you, right? You're paying too much attention, basically. And if you're paying too much attention to this kind of stuff, then it's just going to cause you a lot of anxiety on social media, I think. And it's just going to make you kind of like question things. It's going to make you read into things lots. It's kind of like when you have a crush on someone who you see a lot, right? You kind of, and you're not sure basically if they like you or not. So basically what you do, if you're afraid and you're too scared to ask them out, what you do is you look for little signs first. So, it might be the case that you notice them staring at you, or you notice that they got a little bit closer to you, or you might be noticing or trying to notice if their pupils dilate when they are talking to you. You notice every kind of laugh. You notice absolutely everything. Yeah, and basically doing stuff like that does more harm than good, because you're noticing all these little things, and some of these little things are so subtle that you've picked up. They don't actually mean anything. They're just that person being a normal. And I've I've definitely had this. Like when I was a teenager, if I had a huge crush on a girl, I would like pay so much attention to her and watch her every move like a hawk. Basically, it was kind of creepy, I suppose. But that's just how I was when I was a teenager. Like, if I really like someone, then I'll pay attention so much to everything that they would do to see if they liked me back. And usually, most of it was fabricated in my own mind. They probably liked me as a friend. In fact, a lot of them were my friends who I had crushes on. They liked me as a friend, but I just, like, because I was paying so much attention to it, I just got into this frame of mind of, like, oh, it's because they like me. But when actually it was just them being who they were and just them being a friend. So, you can read into things a lot, so it's best not to do that kind of thing, right? It's best to just not let yourself get so deeply involved that you're picking up on these little subtle clues, like when you are with someone in person who you really, really like and have a crush on. And also, the same goes for social media. Stop picking up on these little tiny signs that don't mean anything, right? So basically, if you like someone and you know them in person, the best thing for you to do, if you want to get to know them better and you know that they're single, the best thing for you to do is to go out up to them and ask them when they're available to go out for a drink with you. And, it's the same for if this is someone who you solely speak to on social media. Now, of course, it might be a mishmash of the two. Perhaps you know them and you have them on social media. But if you just know them on social media or something like that, the best thing for you to do, if you like them, straight away and you're interested in them, get to the point straight away when you start liking someone and ask them out. Ask them when they're available to hang out for a drink. That's all you need to say to them. Like, hey, I think you're really cute. When are you available to hang out for a drink? And if you've been friends with this person for a long time, then obviously address that. Just say, hey, this might sound a bit random, but I think you're really cute and I'd like to get to know you better. When are you available for a drink? That's all you ever need to say to someone who you like. Whether you know them in person, whether you know them just on social media, or whether you know them in person and you have them on social media. That's all you ever really need to say to someone, if you like them. So you need to cut to the chase straight away and stop looking at these tiny little clues that mean nothing, right? Because you don't know, right, how someone is doing, how someone is behaving on social media. Just because when you have a crush on someone, you like a post, doesn't mean that when someone likes your post, it means that they have a crush on you. Because people use social media for different ways, and you've got to understand that everybody is different, okay? And, just because someone has watched all of your stories, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have a crush on you. And you shouldn't never assume that. You should never assume that they have a crush on you. The best thing for you to do is to just, be bold and be brave and ask someone out that you're interested in. You don't wait so long. Don't get caught up in looking for the little clues because you're too afraid, to ask them out. Because basically that's what I did. I was so afraid. I was so afraid of putting my heart on the line and just saying to someone, just asking someone out. I was so afraid of rejection, basically, that I would wait until the last minute when I thought I'd, clocked up enough clues that they liked me, and then I would ask them out. But the best thing to do, the best approach, is to always state your interest first. To always go in, as soon as you start feeling attraction for someone, as soon as you start feeling attraction for someone, ask them out, ask them when they're available for a drink. And if they don't want to go out for a drink with you, if they don't want to meet up with you, if they don't like you, then they'll say no. And if they are a little bit more less blunt, shall we say, they will probably just say something like, oh yeah, that sounds really good, but then they will never give you a time when they're available, or they'll cancel on you and they won't show up to the date, or they'll flake on you or do something like that and give an excuse. But someone that likes you will show up to that date. But you know, you gotta really stop paying attention to who's blocked you and who's unblocked you and what this person gets up to on social media. You know, you gotta really focus on other areas of your life. Do things that you enjoy, you know, fill up your time so you're not spending so much time on social media watching basically what this person is doing, you know, because it's doing you more harm than good looking for these little subtle things that really mean little to nothing, okay? So just hold off, just back off. The best way to indicate if someone wants to talk to you again, if someone is interested in you again, is if they send you a direct message. Forget the unblocking, forget the liking, forget the viewing of the stories, forget everything else. It has to be a direct message to you, private direct message. And they have to be the one that initiates it. That's the rub. You can't be messaging them and then you get a response from them and you're like, oh yay, look, she did what Christine said, she messaged me. No, she has to, or he has to send you that first message saying, hey, how are you, or whatever it may be. They have to send it. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like help with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.